Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another session of Leo and Emma English.
Hello, hello. We are so glad you're here. Today, we are tackling a topic that is honestly a bit of a superpower for English learners.
Emma, I'm going to make a very bold claim. I think there is one single sound, just one, that is responsible for about 50% of the frustration students feel when listening to native speakers.
Only one? That's a big claim, Leo. What is it? The sound, the
Nope, it's a sound that most students don't even know exists, yet they use it every day. It's called the schwa.
Ah, the legendary schwa, the lazy king of English. For those who don't know, the schwa is that tiny, weak sound that sounds like In the phonetic alphabet, it looks like an upside-down E.
Exactly. And the reason it's a mystery is that it doesn't have its own letter. It can be an A, an E, an I, an O, or a U. In English, we are very lazy with our vowels. If a syllable isn't stressed, we don't bother pronouncing the vowel properly. We just turn it into a schwa.
Let's give some examples because this is where it gets crazy. Take the word amazing. Most students say amazing, but a native speaker says amazing. That first A is a schwa.
Or the word chocolate. It's not chocolate, it's chocolate. The O and the A just disappear into the schwa.
This is why native speakers sound so fast. We aren't actually talking faster. We are just making all the unstressed vowels tiny. If you're waiting to hear a clear O in chocolate, you're going to miss the word entirely.
Today, we're going to show you how to find the schwa and how to use it to transform your listening skills. Because once you can hear the schwa, English starts to slow down.
Let's start with grammar words. This is where the schwa lives 90% of the time. Words like to, for, an, the, and, but.
In a textbook, we say to. In a sentence, we say ta. I'm going to the store becomes I'm going to the store.
Sim for this is for you.
And becomes rock and roll.
If you try to pronounce those words clearly while speaking, you will sound very robotic. And if you expect to hear them clearly, you will get lost in a conversation.
The schwa is like the background noise of English. The stressed syllables are the music, and the schwas are the silence between the notes.
Let's look at some common words where the schwa hides. Word number 1, teacher. That at the end, it's a schwa. Teacher. Word number 2, banana. This word has 2 schwas. It's banana. Word number 3, president. It's not president, it's presida.
It's everywhere. It's the most common sound in English. If you look at a transcript of this podcast, almost every third or fourth sound is a schwa.
So, Leo, how can our listeners practice this? It's hard to produce a sound that feels so lazy.
My favorite exercise is the stress punch. When you say a word, find the stress syllable and say it loudly and clearly. Then make everything else a tiny sound.
Let's try it with the word information. The stress is on may. Information. Everything except may is weak.
This is the secret to the English rhythm. English is a stress-timed language. That means the time between stressed syllables is always the same. To keep that rhythm, we have to squeeze all the other syllables into schwas.
It's like a song. If you have too many notes in one bar, you have to play them very fast and softly.
That's exactly it. And I think we need to dive deeper into that concept of stress timing because that is the scientific engine driving this whole phenomenon. Most students who struggle with schwa come from languages that are syllable-timed, like Spanish, French, or Japanese.
Right. In a syllable-timed language, every syllable gets roughly the same amount of time. It's like a machine gun. Da, 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 da. Very steady. But English is like Morse code. It's dot, dot, dash, dot, dash. We are constantly accelerating and braking.
Precisely. Linguists have actually measured this. If you take a sentence in Spanish, the length of time it takes to say it depends on the number of syllables. But in English, the time it takes depends on the number of stresses. This is why schwa is mandatory, not optional. If you don't crush those vowels into a tiny you physically cannot maintain the rhythm of the language. You'll be late for the next beat.
That is such a crucial distinction. It's not just about being lazy, it's about efficiency. We are buying time for the important words. It reminds me of how linguists describe the schwa as a mid-central vowel. Physiologically, your tongue is doing absolutely nothing. It's just floating in the dead center of your mouth.
It's the path of least resistance. To make an E sound, you have to stretch your mouth wide. To make an oo sound, you have to round your lips. To make a schwa,
You just open your mouth slightly and vibrate your vocal cords. It's the sound a teenager makes when you ask them to clean their room.
But here is where it gets tricky for learners, Leo. The schwa isn't static. It moves. It's a shapeshifter. Can we talk about the photograph example? I feel like that really highlights how slippery the sound is.
Oh, that is the classic example. This is called vowel reduction. Let's look at the word family. First, the noun, photograph. The stress is on the first syllable, so the O is clear. The second O becomes a schwa, photograph.
Okay, but now let's change it to the activity. We don't say photography.
Right. The stress shifts to the second syllable. It becomes photography. Suddenly that first O, which was strong a second ago, has turned into a weak schwa, and the second O, which was weak, is now the strong, clear star of the show.
And then, just to be mean, English changes it again for the adjective, photographic. Now the stress is on the third syllable, so the first O has a secondary stress, but that middle O turns back into a schwa. It's like a game of whack-a-mole.
It is, but the rule is consistent. If the stress leaves a vowel, the schwa moves in. This is why spelling is such a nightmare in English. You look at the letter A in the word about, banana, and was, and they are all pronounced as schwa, even though they look totally different on the page.
I want to touch on this psychological barrier here. I've had students tell me, I don't want to use schwa because it sounds like I'm mumbling. I want to speak clear, proper English. What do you say to that?
I hear that all the time. There is this misconception that proper English means pronouncing every single letter like you're reading a spelling list. But in reality, if you do that, if you use what linguists call hyperarticulation, you don't sound proper. You sound aggressive.
Aggressive is the right word, or robotic. Imagine if I said to you, "Hello, Leo, I am going to the market." It sounds like I'm an alien trying to blend in.
Or it sounds like you're angry. We usually only fully enunciate every syllable when we are furious or correcting someone. I said no today. So when a learner tries to be perfect by avoiding the schwa, they unintentionally send a signal that says, I am stiff, I am distant, or I am upset.
That's fascinating. So the schwa is actually a social tool. It signals comfort, it signals fluency. It tells the listener, I am comfortable enough with this language to take shortcuts.
Exactly, and historically, this has been happening for a long time. If you go back to Old English or Middle English, we used to pronounce our endings much more clearly, but over centuries, the English preference for smashing the stress onto the beginning of the word just eroded the endings. It's like water smoothing out a rock.
And that erosion is still happening. Look at a word like comfortable. In the dictionary, it has 4 syllables, come-for-table. But in reality, it's comfortable. We've completely deleted a vowel and replaced the others with schwas.
Same with vegetable. It's not vegetable, it's vegetable. 3 syllables. If you pronounce that second E, you sound like you're from the 1800s.
I'm curious about dialects, though. We're speaking mostly about General American or Standard British English here. Does the schwa change depending on where you are?
It does, but mostly in how it's applied at the ends of words. For example, in most British accents, which are non-rhotic, meaning they don't pronounce the R, a word like teacher ends in a pure schwa, teacher. In American English, we add a little R color to it, so it's teacher. But the vowel quality, it's essentially the same neutral, lazy sound.
There's also that funny thing British speakers do called the intrusive R, which is basically using an R to connect 2 schwas, like law and order.
Oh, right, law and order. Because law ends in a vowel sound that is close to a schwa, and starts with a schwa, the mouth just bridges them with an R. It's all about flow. The schwa is the ultimate lubricant of the English language. It stops us from having to stop.
I love that image, the lubricant of language. So if our listeners want to start mastering this today, beyond just the stress punch, what should they be listening for?
I think they need to change their mental model of what a word looks like. Don't visualize the letters, visualize the shape of the sound. English words have a silhouette. They have peaks and valleys. The stressed syllable is the mountain peak, and the schwas are the valleys.
So instead of seeing police, which looks like 6 equal letters, visualize a tiny little p and a giant lice.
Spot on. Police. If you focus on the lice, the p takes care of itself. That's a big tip. Don't try to pronounce the schwa. Try to pronounce the stress and let the schwa be the accident that happens on the way to the stress.
That takes the pressure off. You don't have to try to be lazy. You just have to focus your energy on the one part of the word that matters. It's energy management.
We've been talking for 20 minutes, and basically, we've just given you the key to the native sound.
I'm convinced that if you start noticing the schwa, your listening comprehension will improve overnight. You'll stop listening for letters and start listening for the rhythm.
It really is a game changer. It's the difference between hearing a cup of tea and a cup of tea.
So here is your challenge for today. Find 3 words in your favorite English song where a vowel sounds like instead of its real letter. Tell us in the comments.
We'll be there to check your schwa hunting skills. Thanks for joining us at Leo and Emma English.
Stay relaxed and keep that jaw loose for those schwas. See you next time.
Catch you on the flip side.